the chair is ready to go forward, what I would like to do is first make a statement to you, Madam Clerk. And on my screen, I can only get 9 views. So if you would keep a watch on any councilors that have their hand up to speak, I hope that you would just intercede and speak on their behalf and inform me that they want to speak.
Sure. Chairman, if you want to try clicking in the top right-hand corner, you can toggle between speaker view and gallery view, and that might assist you.
I tried it and it didn't work.
Okay. All right. I will keep an eye out.
Thank you. I would like, first of all, Madam Clerk, to introduce the members of the subcommittee. Councilor Giannino, Councilor McKenna, Councilor Powers, Councilor Visconti, and Council President Keefe, by virtue of ex officio. Tonight we have 5 individuals seeking appointment to the Revere, employment in the city of Revere. First is a very serious appointment. It's the appointment of David Callahan as Revere Police Chief. David, would you have like to introduce yourself and say a few words to the membership of the subcommittee and the council as a whole?
Good evening, councilors. My name is David Callahan. I'm employed by the Revere Police Department. I've been employed here for almost 30 years. I've performed in many different capacities on the police department, from patrol to juvenile in the schools to narcotics unit and criminal investigation, and now I'm currently in the patrol division. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity and your consideration from the council for the appointment to be the next chief of police in the city of Revere Police Department. And especially during these trying times, I think it's very challenging. And, you know, we're going to have a lot of things we have to work together on, and we have to keep the community engaged together, and we have to move forward and have everybody, like I said, work as one and keep the community united. And just in closing, I want to thank everybody for their consideration and for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Council McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to just tell a little story of how I met Dave Callahan. In 1999, he was stationed at Revere High School, where I was a teacher, and I was also the senior class advisor. We had a prom at the Copley Plaza, and David supervised that prom. I didn't have a car to go home. So he said, "Do you want to ride?" I said, "Well, I would love a ride," but I didn't know it was going to be in a cop car, a police car. So at 12 o'clock, we got in the police car, and he said, "Have you ever been in a police car before?" Now, I didn't know him from a hole in the wall before this. And I said, "No, I've never been in a police car." So he put on the sirens. He was, you know, going a little bit fast. But then on the way back to my house, there was a domestic call. And he said, "Joanne, I have to take it." So they took the domestic call and they parked in the middle of the street. And I was in the back seat of the police car for about an hour. And that's how I met David Callahan. So I just want to say kudos to you. I love you. I think you would be wonderful. And God bless you. You've really deserved this. So God bless you.
Councilor Giannino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to congratulate you on this appointment. I think it's a good choice. I've had the pleasure of knowing David my whole life. Born and raised in Revere, grew up in the city, went through the school system. So I think it's a great choice, and I give you a lot of credit for stepping up during a difficult time to step up, and you definitely have your work cut out for you, and stay safe.
Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said about 20 minutes ago at another meeting, this city is growing rapidly. Again, we're no longer a city of 45,000 as we were a decade and a half ago, but today we're approaching probably 65,000 or better if the truth were known with regard to our population. We've become a very diverse city, and that's all well and good. I think the important thing is here that we have a new chief coming in, someone that will address those situations, knows of those situations, and has the knowledge, and is a resident, has been a resident of the city of Revere for many, many years prior. So I want to congratulate you, David. You're a chief. I'll call you chief in about, I don't know, an hour probably, when this comes before the council. But again, I want to congratulate you. I am confident, I have every confidence in the world that you will do a fantastic job as chief. You're fair, you're impartial, and you get right to the heart of every matter that comes before you. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Keith.
I didn't have my hand raised, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did.
I know
Councilor
that
Visconti, Novoselsky, and Sereno have their hands raised.
I will say I'm 100% behind this, and I wish him well.
Okay. Councilor Visconti.
Mr. Callahan, I just want to say congratulations on this appointment. I think like Councilor Janino said, you are taking the reins during a difficult time. So I admire that, doing that. But you're a man of integrity, and you will lead that police department proud. And I look forward to working with you. And I believe the whole council is behind you. So thank you again, and congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Rotundo.
Thank you. It goes without saying that Chief Callahan is the consummate professional. He enjoys the reputation and respect of his peers, both at the local, state, and federal level. He understands and engages the community in a manner that you would hope a chief would and does. I look forward to confirming him and working with him as I have in the past. And I just want to congratulate you on your success. It's well-deserved and well-earned.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Sereno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, through you to our incoming chief. Chief Callahan, congratulations. You know, like Councilor Janino, I've known you since I was a little kid. I remember being at the police station and seeing you at the police station on Pleasant Street years ago. You know, you've always been not only respectful and professional, but you're a man of compassion, and you're what our city needs as we move forward into the 21st century with the department. So I know, as the previous speaker said, talking to some of the officers, I know that you enjoy their respect as well. And I have a feeling you're going to be a very successful chief. And I wish you the best for your tenure and a safe tenure. And I couldn't be any more excited to vote in support of this confirmation. Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Novoselsky.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. David, I've known you since when? And it's been a pleasure. And you're not the first lieutenant to move up to chief, and we've been pretty lucky with that move from those two positions. And looking at your resume, nobody can beat that. It's just outstanding. What everybody said before is true. You're a classy guy. You appreciate people. You treat them the right way. I know you'll do it with your staff, the rest of the police force, and I look forward to working with you for many years to come. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Zambuto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, I've known you since I was a young man, so that's quite a long time ago. I always viewed you the way you treated everybody you met with respect, even before you were a police officer, but especially as a police officer. And it's a wonderful quality. And if we could all do that, we'd be a better world. I think that in this time, in this place, I couldn't think of a better person to be the chief of police. You were a great street cop. You were a great cop. Everything you did 100%. And I, for one, am very happy that you're going to be leading this police force for the future. So best of luck to you, my friend. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Council. Did I miss any councilors? Seeing none. David, certainly the first criteria is the type of person you are. You're a gentleman, a first-class gentleman in every term of the word. And every instance I had to interact with you, you've been nothing but professional and courteous. And what I like to see when the mayor submits a name up for recognition for a high position such as this, is you worked your way up the ranks. You served as a patrolman. You started your police career in Salisbury. So the water was too cold there, so you came to better waters in the city, the first public beach in the country. So we really are lucky to have you. You're a great guy. You have a wonderful family. Your wife is terrific. And I think you're the type of person we need to lead our community under these very trying times. Sensitivity is going to be probably up forefront the rest of our political careers and probably yours. And so it's going to take people of that type of character to be able to make determinations, be fair, and yet be determined to uphold the law in your particular position. And I applaud you for taking on the position. I applaud you for accepting the mayor's request to be our chief. And I applaud the city council for having the wisdom to confirm you this evening. So I look forward to many, many years of you serving our community. And I wish you nothing but the best because you deserve nothing but the best. Congratulations. We will vote this out, committee of the whole, in a few minutes. And congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm quite humbled by all the kind words from everyone, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to working with everybody on the council and to try to make things better. Thank you very much.
Next is the appointment of Danielle Osterman to the License Commission. Is Daniel here in attendance, Madam Clerk?
Yes, he is.
I'm here. Hello?
I can hear you, Daniel.
I can hear you, I can't see you, so that's okay. I'll work through the clerk. Daniel, would you
Awesome.
please give us a brief presentation?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me here tonight. If I'm selected, I will be honored to serve on the License Commission. I've been a resident of Revere for over 10 years. I own a business here. I've been practicing law in the state of Massachusetts as well as in Revere for about 11 years now. Haven't really been involved in too much of the local politics, but I feel when tapped, I'd be glad to serve. I worked alongside with Pat Keith and Pop Warner. I've coached in Revere. I've held several positions on some boards with the Mass Bar Association as well as the Boston Bar Association for various lawyer committees. So again, if given the opportunity to serve, I'd embrace it, and I'd love the opportunity.
Thank you. Councilor Keith.
Thank you, Councilor, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say that Mr. Osterman is a great man, and he will be a great addition to the licensing board if selected. He mentioned not involved in politics, and I wanted to make sure that politics and license commission should be autonomous. And the fact that he never told me that he was going to put his name in the hat, and I didn't find out until I saw him on this piece of paper, shows me the type of person he'll be on that licensing board. So he comes with my high regard, and I know he'll do a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Madam Clerk?
We have Councilor Zambuto, Councilor Novoselsky, as well as one resident.
And
Councilor
myself.
Oh, George, I missed you. I'm sorry.
Okay,
myself.
thank you.
Deep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say, I am so impressed that this gentleman knew a city councilor and didn't tell him he was looking to be appointed to the License Commission. That says a lot about his character. And I've never met him, But I'm happy to meet him tonight, and I'm thrilled that he'll be serving on the License Commission, because I know he'll have to be truly impartial, because we all know how things work. And if you knew someone on the city council and you're going to be appointed to a city position, and you don't reach out to that person, that shows integrity. So I'm thrilled. And best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Visconti.
Mr. Osina, I want to say I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you. I concur with Councilor Zambudo, the fact that you are, Councilor Keith, and didn't ask for a recommendation or anything of that sort does speak volumes. And I look forward to dealing with you on the licensing commission. Well, good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other members of the committee wishing to speak? Seeing none. Councilor Rotundo.
Thank you. Attorney Oceana, I gotta say, it's with great pleasure that you step up and actually serve the community. I think it's important that we have an attorney that's actually on the licensing board. I know you reside in West Revere and you have your offices, I believe, on American Legion Highway. Sir, I just want to thank you for doing that. I do have one question for you. You don't happen to speak Spanish, do you?
Very little, very little.
All right, because it would have been a double whammy if you were. I have a friend with the same last name. He's Dominican.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
All right,
But
thank you kindly.
my wife is Spanish, so you know she
She's got to teach you, man. She's got to teach you.
I know.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor
Joanne, what are you doing?
Councilor
I'm
Novoselic.
trying to get on again. Sorry.
Joanne, mute your phone.
After we throw Joanne off the board, we'll.
I'm gonna try to get on. Sorry.
Councilor Novoselic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I don't know Daniel, but I have seen his wife's postings on Facebook. And I do wish him a lot of luck. It's an important board to be on. A lot happens there, and it's nice to see a new face on there. So welcome aboard, and we'll see you up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My colleagues said a lot of what I was going to say, so I didn't want to be repetitive, but I just want to, thank you for wanting to be involved in the community and stepping up to the plate. I think it's great that not only are you a resident, but you're a business owner in the community, and you're willing to step up and, serve our community. I just have one question for you. It's sort of like an icebreaker because I haven't had the pleasure of working with you yet, but what's your favorite part about living in the city and working in the city?
Honestly, I think what drew me to Revere was the diversity. I think that the landscape in Revere is forever changing. There's a lot of opportunity here. I view it as an affluent city. It's a very convenient city in terms of its location, and so there's so many things that I love about the city itself. But I'm heavily involved with the football program. We've been changing that landscape. Pat Keefe and myself, we've worked alongside each other for a very long time. My son is growing up here. We love the schools. So I just view it as just overall a great opportunity for myself and my family, given the diversity and again, the landscape that's changing in Revere. I just want to get involved, and I'm really excited about the overall opportunity.
Well, I love to hear that, and thank you again. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Seeing no other councilors, there's a visitor who would like to speak. Councilor Sereno, you want to speak?
Yes, very, very quickly, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Through you to Attorney Oksana, I just wanted to say, Attorney Oksana, I know we haven't had the privilege to meet yet. However, when I was reading your resume, I think you're going to be a great fit for our License Commission, and I'm excited to get to know you and get to work with you. And I'm even more excited to hear you live in West Revere. You might be in Ward 6. But I'm sure you'll do a tremendous job on the License Commission. And I want to say ditto to what all my other counselors have said before me. So congratulations on your anticipated appointment tonight.
Well,
He's your
Counsel,
next,
Thank you.
he's your next opponent.
Counsel, I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but he lives in Ward 3. Ms. Holmes. Is Ms. Holmes in the audience?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Holmes, 243 Campbell Avenue resident, Ward 2. I don't mean to be out of order. I am grateful for the opportunity to speak. I just have a question. It has nothing to do with this appointment, but I'm looking at my agenda and it looks like there was another appointment scheduled to be made second, and I was wondering why that.
You are speaking out of order. I'm the chairman and I determine how it's read.
Oh, so that's yet to
Thank
be, that's just coming up later.
That's right. We're attending to business. Don't worry about it.
Apologies. Thank you very much. No disrespect
welcome.
intended.
And my comments to the new commissioner to be, number one, I was a former commissioner and my wife happens to be a commissioner. But he doesn't realize he's got a very, very big role to hold. He lives in Bobby Hass's house. He bought the house Bobby Hass lived in. So you have a special guy there that he lives in one of my good friends' homes. And I welcome him to the License Commission. I also welcome him to Ward 3. And he did select a great area to live in because their ward councilor reviews it and makes sure it's good. So Daniel, we're looking forward to working with you. The License Commission is a very, very important part of our community. You make decisions on a daily basis. And by the way, you are autonomous. So you can't, after you get confirmed, for 6 years, you make decisions based on what you feel is best for our community. No interference from anybody. You have autonomous rights. So we look forward to having you serve our community. And according to everything I've heard about you, it's all good. And so the only unfortunate part about it is you work hand in hand with Keith, but that we can go, we can get by that. So Daniel, we will vote you out favorably this evening because it looks like we have unanimous opinion from the council. And congratulations on your appointment. And please do a good job for our community because these are going to be time that needs sensitivity. And I think you're the type of guy that can help in that direction. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next is the appointment, Eclag Lemonade. And I ruined that, but please help me out because everybody ruins Guanasso. So you're in the same boat as me. So I've known you for years and you're just a great guy. So please state your name and address for the record and give us a brief presentation. He's muted.
Eclag, your computer's muted.
It's muted. You're muted.
Unmute.
Ira, I'll take care of it.
I'm sure you will.
All right.
Hey,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Akla Glimene, and I live in 18 Bela Revere, Massachusetts. Currently, I'm serving as a planning board member for the city of Revere. It's going to be my honor and the privilege to serve as a member of the newly zoning board of appeal of this great city. If I'm approved, I can assure you that I will discharge all my duties according to the best of my knowledge by being professional, impartial to the process.
Thank you. Any councilors of the subcommittee?
Wasn't on yet. Wasn't on yet.
Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is another great example of a wonderful member of our community who I can call a friend who, again, I didn't know he was even up for this until I saw his name on the agenda.
Aced it through.
Akhlog, you're a wonderful person. You're an asset to our community.
No,
And
no,
I'm
because I
so
don't like
happy to
people.
see you getting involved and being a part of this. And if you can hear Sam in the background, he's speaking in favor too. So thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to this. You have my support 110%. You're a wonderful person and I can't think of someone better to serve. So thank you.
Any other members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Council McKenna. Council McKenna, you're muted. We'll go back to Council McKenna. Any other councils wishing to speak at this time? Council Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've known Akhlog a few years. He owns some property down in Ward 2, and I've worked with him in the planning board and also visiting all the different cultural events we've had around the city. Yeah, he's a good guy. I look forward to him making some good choices and good decisions on the ZBA, and you get a bunch of good people to work with. Chairman Tucker's outstanding. He's a good leader, and do what you think is the best. That's what it's all about. So welcome aboard. Thank you.
Any other councils wishing to speak?
Yes.
Council Rotundo.
I want to say Akhlog is, again, he's a consummate professional. He's a kind man. And you just bear with me in Demona.
Madam Clerk, any other councils wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Zambudo.
thank you. I'm trying to use the function, the hand up function, but I guess you can't see it from your area.
I have a great assistant, Ashley Melman.
That's great. Well, listen, this gentleman is a great person and very active in the community. And I think that it's just a great next step for him to get more involved with a very important board. And I know you'll deal this with a person of integrity. And I'm just happy that you're stepping up for this position. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. McKenna is having trouble with her sound, so I was gonna put her on speaker. Hold on.
Oh, my God.
So this is Councilor McKenna. Never mind. I'll get her back if she comes back. Sorry.
Forgive us. Council McKenna has a wire truck. Any other councils wishing to speak?
Mr.
Dorino and
Chairman,
Visconti had their hands raised.
Council Visconti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Akhlog, I want to say congratulations. This is a great addition to the planning board. You are the always professional, and like Councilor Rotundo said, you're a kind man and a good family man, and that you will be a valued asset to that board.
Thank you, Council. Any other councils wishing to speak?
Councilor McKenna.
Councilor McKenna.
I am sorry, I'm having technical difficulties with my phone and computer, so I'm speaking through Jessica's phone. But I just want to say I have to talk about Akhlog because he's in my ward and I haven't known him for a long time, but he's been present, he's been helpful. He's a real asset to the community, and I'm so glad that he lives in my ward and didn't get to vote for me, and I can do things for him. And he's just a wonderful asset, and I really love you, Akhlog. So
Thank you.
good luck, God bless, and congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Council. Well, again, Akhlog, I've known you to be a true gentleman. You certainly, every time I've been in your company, you're very pleasant, very quiet, just a great guy. So I look forward to working with you again. This zoning board of appeals, very important part of our city. You make decisions that affect neighborhoods. And that's why neighborhoods really need people with sensitivity and common sense. And that, you need to throw the book away on zoning. Just have common sense. And I think you do have that kind of quality. And you're going to do a great job for us. I know you are. Look forward to working. I see you're going to be serving the community for several years, and we look forward to working with you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next is the appointment of Arthur Pelton to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Is Arthur present?
Yes, I am, Councilor.
Arthur, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Arthur Pelton. I'm living at High Street, excuse me, in Revere. And I've been in the community now for almost 8 years. And at this time, I am on the zoning board. I have been on the zoning board for a little better than 2 years, 2.5 years now. And what I enjoy about being on the zoning board is I really care what goes on in the community. And I have met a lot of you folks as well. And I just want to continue on doing what I'm doing at this point.
Okay, and another great Ward 3 citizen, by the way. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Councilor Janino.
Just speaking in favor. Arthur, thank you for all that you do, and I look forward to you serving for several more years.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Zambu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Arthur, for, first of all, serving and wanting to continue to serve. You do a great job, and best of luck on your continued service.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Visconti.
Just want to say congratulations. Thank you for your continuing service to our community, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors wishing to speak? Seeing none, this vote will come to a favorable vote this evening, Arthur. There's no need for any other review. We will vote you out favorably, and please do a good job for our community. You join hands in one eclog, and the two of you get together and work with Michael Tucker, who's the chair, another great guy serving the community. We look forward to some good things happening on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Again, a very serious position in our community. The decisions made by that membership affects the neighbors, and that's an important part of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you. And the next is appointment of Dimple Rana as Executive Director of the city's Human Rights Commission. Is Dimple in the audience?
Yes, hello, Council.
Hi, Dimple. State your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Dimple Rana, 49 South Ave.
Thank you. Would you please make a brief presentation?
Thank you, Councilor Renato. So I really look forward to this position. I have over 20 years of experience in working in community settings, locally and internationally, as you all have had a chance to review with the resume I submitted. I look forward to reactivating the Human Rights Commission that was deactivated in the 1990s. The Human Rights Commission is important. It will investigate and adjudicate complaints of discrimination in the areas of human rights and protect the civil rights of residents and visitors to the city. Additionally, the commission shall aid the city of Revere by educating both businesses and residents, providing community outreach, and cooperating with other city, state, and federal agencies. I do also want to remind everyone that I will continue my current position as the Director of Healthy Community Initiatives under the title of Director of Outreach, and continue to run all the programs and initiatives of my office, which are mostly all grant funded, which include 71 summer youth jobs through YouthWorks, a workforce development program, which officially starts on Monday. The farmers market, overseeing a staff of 6 young people and volunteers. The census, which the deadline has been extended to the end of October, and overseeing a multilingual staff of 4. The 2 community gardens, and a 3rd in development that we're looking at in the Beachmont neighborhood. Co-leading Revere on the Move as the Mass in Motion coordinator for the statewide program. Continuing COVID-19 work, such as leading the Revere COVID-19 Community Response Network, which is made up of over 30 staff, community organizations, community leaders, and other residents of the city. In addition to the COVID-19 work, all of the 6 food programs that are currently run at the Emergency Food Distribution Center at the Romney Marsh Academy. And to continue to translate all of the materials that we started to translate at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to many other initiatives and programs, on top of this new appointment as the Executive Director of the Human Rights Commission. I do want to also continue to share that I have not received a raise when I received the promotion from the manager to the Director of the Healthy Community Initiatives Department. And today I'm witnessing right now another promotion while maintaining 2 jobs, new programs to run, and no raise. In addition to the position of the Human Rights Commission Executive Director, it's listed as a voluntary unpaid position in the city's ordinance. So I just want to point this out and make it a point that it is a bit unfair, as I am seeking right now the appointment as the Executive Director of the Human Rights Commission and looking to assist in the city in promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion for all of our residents. So I just want to end that I do look forward to taking this position and this appointment. I just also want to state that it does correlate to the future of the commission in terms of equality in the workplace, especially as a woman and as the only department head of color, where I'm continuing on to take on more work without having the raise that I need at this point. I've worked here for 10 years as of October, and I love this city. I grew up here. My family continues to live here, including the 3rd generation of my family. I appreciate the changes that are happening here, but I want to make sure that they continue to happen equitably, not just for me, but for all of the people that live in Revere. And so in that, I do look forward to working with the community, with the administration, and all of you on the full establishment of the Human Rights Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? No members wishing to speak? Any councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Rotundo.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dimple, could you go over what the responsibilities of the Human Rights Commission is and the functions? I'm sorry, I unfortunately, I didn't hear it, and I apologize.
So they're still in development, Councilor Rotundo. The ordinances need to be updated a little bit and reviewed by a committee that I would like to put together to help review, a community-led community that I would like to put together to review the ordinances and to bring them up to date. But what is listed in the ordinances are around what I stated earlier. So the Human Rights Commission will investigate complaints of discrimination in the areas of human rights and protect the civil rights of residents. And additionally, the commission shall aid the city of Revere by education with businesses and residents in providing community outreach.
So that's an issue, and I'll tell you why. Right now, actually, and you can validate this with Chief Callahan and Mark Toulouse of the FBI, that the hate crimes group from the FBI are investigating what's going on with what happened in West Revere. If you're going to do that here, that takes away the full legal conduct of both the state, local, and federal level. Because what are you investigating if we already have these literal law enforcement people to do it? That's my only question.
So that is, again, up to the development of and updating the ordinances. But at this time, what I've also looked at other cities and also being part of a coalition called Bridges that includes the FBI, includes the Attorney General's office and a number of other organizations, that it would be working alongside, not as the governing authority of this. So we would work with these offices.
So how would you maintain the chain of custody if you had a civil rights issue, or for that matter, something of that nature?
Counselor, I look forward to answering that question once we have a little bit more developed for the Human Rights Commission that has
Point of information. Can I just state,
Wait a minute.
part of the,
Excuse me, Counselor.
part of the
Through
muni, through you, Mr. Almighty Chair.
You know, if you want to be heard, you gotta go through the chair.
Unbelievable.
So, all I just want to say is part of the ordinance states that the commission should be made up of the police chief as well as the superintendent of schools. They should be also involved, if that clears.
And if you remember last year, Steve, I think through you, Chairman Guanasso, I think it was either the year before or the year after. I still had those reservations then, as I do now. So that's about it. But thank you, Dimple. I appreciate you giving me that information. Thank you.
Counsel, when you want to speak, please go through the chair.
I thought I was doing
Any
that.
other
Sorry.
counsel wishing to speak? Is there a motion on the floor to approve this? Counsel Zambudo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I'm at a disadvantage. I don't have a long history of knowing about human rights commissions, and I guess I'm concerned of what's the criteria in this instance for the mayor to pick an individual, and because
Madam Clerk, he's been muted.
I didn't mute Counselor Zambudo. He
Can you
lost
hear
it.
me?
He doesn't have any volume.
Counsel, we haven't heard you the last couple of minutes.
oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I said I was at a disadvantage because I don't know a lot about human rights commissions. And I really would like to know the criteria of how someone picks a chairman or a director for a human rights commission, because I feel that if, God forbid, there was any bias, this could create a real problem from that position. So I think it's a powerful board. It sounds like a powerful board if I understand by reading the ordinance what it actually does. Well, I don't know. I'd like more information. I don't know if you're going to keep this in committee. We're voting this out tonight. And I'm not on the committee, so I don't have a vote. But that would just be a suggestion.
Any other members of the council wishing to speak?
Mr. Chair.
Councilor Visconti.
I first want to say thank you to the mayor for reinstating the Human Rights Commission, and I think it's a needed commission at this time. I think it's a very important position and commission, I should say. And I personally would like to, before voting on this, I want to make sure that we do this right. And I feel that I'd like some more information on it and feel, I don't feel comfortable at this point in the time voting on it and would like to table it for the next meeting to see, to get more information. And I'm not saying Ms. Rana is not qualified. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that we, during these times, we need to make sure that we do this right. And like I said, I'm not questioning the mayor's selection, but I think it's a position that I feel strongly on, that at this point in time that we look into it further. Now, I don't know how everybody else feels. That's just my point. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So is that a form of a motion, Councilor?
I would table this appointment. My motion is to table this decision, this appointment at this time.
On the motion of Councilor Visconti to table.
Mr. Chairman, can I?
Who's speaking?
Mayor Rigo.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, go ahead. I can't see it, Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry.
No worries. I just want to, I would request that the counselor, if there are any questions that any council member has, please don't hesitate to reach out. And the more detailed, the better. I just wonder right now, are there any questions that I or anyone else could answer?
And Mr. Chair, may I?
Councilor Visconti.
Okay, and through you to the mayor. Mayor, I'm going to be honest with you. I have been obviously entrenched in the budget, okay, which has taken up quite a bit of my time. And I have intentions on asking the questions. I just, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't prepared for it due to the fact of the budget and the fact that I wasn't even aware that this was coming up this soon, to be honest. So that's the honest truth. So, but
Mr. Chairman,
I'd like to look into it further. That's me. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Mr. Mayor.
I just wonder what is it that you want to look into further? The human rights, having a human rights commission. Is it the appointment of the employee that's before you right now? What are the questions? I mean, I just find it hard to believe that there are that you have questions, but you don't know what the questions are.
Councilor Ganasso, may I speak?
Councilor Visconti was answering the mayor, and then Councilor Rotundo thereafter. Councilor Visconti, you have the floor.
Well, I think one of the concerns is there a reason? I think it's a position that I would consider maybe somebody of law in that position, but that's me, and I like to see the difference. But it's like I said, Mr. Mayor, I have.
I'll answer that question. And Councilor Rotundo referred to this, I think, or maybe Dimple did, but the police chief is a member of the Human Rights Commission, as part of the constitution of the and the ordinances that are in place for the Human Rights Commission. Now, that's to say that this is not going to happen overnight, and I don't expect to have a full Human Rights Commission kind of appointed all that quickly. I think there's going to be some time and some work that needs to be done to look at updating the ordinances, because they are a little bit out of date. As was mentioned, the Human Rights Commission was essentially disbanded as part of city government for a while. And this actually came up in our conversations with community organizations, especially faith-based organizations throughout the city during COVID. I have a regular call with faith leaders in the city, and as we were talking about events of happening throughout the world and throughout the nation, one idea that was brought up by Pastor Nick was the Human Rights Commission, and I had heard it from a few other people. So that was something that he had actually, Pastor Nick actually served on it under, I think, Mayor Brasino, but or maybe Mayor Colella at the time, but that was something that we said, okay, we'll take a look at, and so I had the conversation with Dimple about leading the charge of getting the Human Rights Commission reactivated in the city. I think that that's work that I've given her, and she's already started down that path and on that work. And so I thought the obvious next logical move would be to appoint the executive director as it is written in the ordinances, and then we could start convening community groups to take a look at the actual ordinances. Of course, those ordinance changes are going to go through the city council. So there are a lot of moving pieces, a lot of semantics. I call them details. Some councils like to call them semantics, but there's a lot of work to be done. And so the quicker we can answer questions, and the quicker the councilors can come up with their questions, I think it would be helpful to move this along. And I would expect that there be if there are any questions. Again, I know the budget's a lot. I know this is there's a lot coming at new members on the council. I will say that I did put out a press release, I think 2 weeks ago, about the work that we're doing. The council has known that I fully intended to recommission the Human Rights Commission, and that I would be appointing Dimple to that position. So I don't see this as a big surprise, but if there are any questions, my phone and my email are always on, and be more than willing to answer any of those questions.
I appreciate that.
Well, as the chair, I understand. We had 5 appointments this evening. 4 of these positions, Mr. Mayor, are presently positions that are being occupied by somebody now with a history of how the operations of that department and that position works. With this, we saw it in the past. A couple of administrations saw fit to not have this. They eliminated this position for whatever reason that might be. I'm unaware of that you had this in mind 2 weeks ago. I only got with this directive on Thursday night, so we had 3 days to look at it. And really, in the 32 years that I worked in the city council, we've never had one.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman.
What's your point, Councilor Morabito?
Point is, you were on the council when I submitted this motion to have the mayor reinstate the Human Resource Commission. You were there, so I would hope you were. It passed through the council, so I would hope that you would remember that and would anticipate that move would be coming. Also, Mayor Ambrosino should have the Human Rights Commission.
I don't need
and then it somehow.
Council, you're out of order. I asked the
why? I have a point of what's the excuse me? What's the point? What's the time limit on a point of information? What is the time limit on a point of inquiry? Point of inquiry.
Please mute.
Point of inquiry.
At the request of the chair. Thank you. Now, this is not going to be a shout match. This is going to be an objective meeting. I have 11 visitors.
Maybe we need someone new in Ward 3.
Wow.
This is what politics is getting to. We're getting to childish little play that are taking this personally.
Childish is not letting someone speak. Someone who comes to every single meeting, and when he does speak, he is.
City clerk, would you please mute him? He doesn't have permission to speak. This I saw meetings previously and it got out of control and I was very upset by that. You only can-
I'm sure if you took a survey,
Counselor, you're out
I'm sure
of
if you
order.
took a survey of every
Counselor, you're out of
person
order.
who watched
You don't-
this meeting, they would say Steve Morabito doesn't speak a lot, but when he does, he gets muted.
Well, that's good. Well, then I'll say it. Mute him. This is how you run a business. Counselor President Keith has his hand up. Please speak.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to, I think you noticed that there's a lot of attendees that I think wish to speak.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
I did ask to speak.
Counselor Keith.
That's all I wanted to make sure you knew. Thank you.
Yeah, I have 11 people want to speak. The city clerk has already informed me. And we'll listen to them. We'll give them a couple of minutes and that's it.
Plug the personal privilege.
I don't know what the direction of this is going to be.
Plug the personal privilege.
You don't have a personal privilege at this time. We're in a subcommittee meeting and it's only subcommittee members of which you're not.
Very
Now,
well.
let me reframe our minutes our rules of order. Our rules of order say that an appointment on a subcommittees are chaired and there's memberships. And the memberships of that subcommittee have the right to vote something up or down and give it to the committee of the whole, and they can overrule if they want. So I have
Mr. Chairman?
Councilor Nino, Councilor McKenna, Councilor Powers, Councilor Visconti, and Councilor Keith are members of the subcommittee. Member of the subcommittee, Councilor Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With all due respect, it's 7 o'clock. The council meeting was supposed to start at 6. I don't think this was at anyone's fault. I think that we had a very heavily loaded schedule and it might have been a little bit of poor planning on our part as a council. And I don't think that the residents should have to suffer because of our mistakes. I think that we're getting a little bit out of hand and I think that attacks are being made that are personal that should not be. I think that as community leaders, we owe it to the community to allow the residents that want to speak to be heard and also to allow the counselors that have questions or concerns or any questions that they should be heard as well. And it's just my concern that, this is a very important night. We have to vote on the budget this evening. And again, I think that we kind of overloaded ourselves a little bit, but we're also—
Human rights is personal, by the way. Human rights is personal.
Councilor Morabito, you're out of order again. Learn etiquette first.
Arrest me, I'm sorry.
You're rude.
No, enough is enough. I'm sick
Enough
of
is
being
enough. Sit
pushed.
down.
I'm
That's an
sick of being
overstatement.
walked over. I'm sick of for 7 years being walked over and being silenced. I just am. And I'm not going to stand for it.
Councilor Janino, you through?
I don't know even my train of thought anymore, but I will say, Councilor Morabito, I'm sorry that you're upset. You know that we have your back on the council. I think this is getting a little testy and a little out of hand. Again, it's 7 o'clock at night. The meeting was supposed to start an hour ago. Mr. Chairman, I know you have people to go through, but I just hope everyone can see that this clearly should have been planned for a little differently. We didn't give ourselves enough time.
Well, what's the wish? The first order of business is what's the wish of the subcommittee? Do they want this to go into, hold it over, table it, or they want it to go to the council for a vote this evening? That's all I ask. It's a simple thing. Just vote it up, vote it down.
Mr. Chair.
Councilor Visconti,
I would
member of the
prefer to
subcommittee.
just, if that's okay, I would prefer to just table it to the next meeting, if that's at all possible. I don't know what the will is of the council, but that's my motion.
There's a motion.
I would like to hear, with that being said, although I would like to hear, what the residents' thoughts are.
I would too.
And see
There are
what
11
that
residents
is.
who want to speak, and we're going to let them speak.
So if that's possible, I would like to.
As long as they keep remain to the issue, they don't get out of hand like some of the councilors do. This is fine. They'll be heard.
Thank you.
So this will,
Jabs. Enough with the jabs, okay?
Council, you're out of order again.
My respect for you.
Madam Clerk, would you read the names of the people who want to be heard from the audience?
Laura Holmes, Rashid Mukabir, Lee Simmons.
Can we take them as you call them? The first one, Laura
Sure,
Holmes.
we'll go one at a time. Thank you.
Laura Holmes, are you still with us?
Laura Holmes, L-O-R.
Hi,
Laura- Laura.
hello, counselors. With respect, Laura Holmes, 243 Campbell Ave, resident. I'm a little nervous speaking. It seems like this committee somehow has gotten very, very tense. I remember hearing about the appointment that the mayor was going to nominate Dimple Rana for this appointment at least a week or so ago. I think it was in the newspaper. And so that gave me time to look into it. So I'm surprised to hear that there are counselors who have not taken an interest in learning more about what this position is all about. During the time this conversation has been going on, it took me about 2 minutes to look up online and find the ordinance. And I just want to read one line from that. It is the policy of the city of Revere, including its employees, agents, and officials, to protect the constitutional, civil, and human rights of all the people within the city, and to promote understanding among individuals and groups in the city through improving the quality of discourse and eliminating unlawful discrimination. It seems to me like there's no better argument than listening to this tense conversation of our city council as to why we need a human rights commission in this city. So I truly hope that you will support the mayor in wanting to reinstate this commission. And I've known Dimple Rana for a very long time. Just hearing the list of all the things that she has accomplished during her tenure at the city, not always under the best of circumstances. She's a professional person. She's a lifelong Revere resident. She has always contributed as a volunteer and always put herself out there, sometimes at great personal risk, to stand up for the things that are best for all the members of this community, especially those whose voices have been marginalized. And the last thing I want to say is that cities and towns across the United States have human rights commissions. It's a very normal, commonplace type of a body to have on a responsible, accountable city, which I know Revere wants to be. And given the changes in our demographics, given the great growth in our city, there's no better time than now to reignite this commission. And I hope you will support Dimple Rana as its executive director. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next,
Next is Rashid Mukabir. I'm allowing you to speak.
Rashid.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rashid Mukhabir of 591 Beach Street, Revere, a proud Moroccan-American community organizer. I've been advertising for diversity and inclusion in the city of Revere through education and cultural events. I believe that the Human Rights Commission is needed more than any time before due to the late circumstances in our city. Furthermore, community organizers are looking to establish another independent commission to work with the Human Rights Commission side by side to resolve issues as they arise in our city. I personally worked with Dimple Rana in many projects. Lately in the Revere emergency response team, she demonstrated great leadership skills in that role, and they can't see any person in the city who can be better in this position as a human rights executive director. I personally had an issue in the city of Revere, but I didn't know where to go. I sent my complaint letter to the mayor, to the city councilor, to everybody in the city. No one could help me resolve that issue. Finally, I applaud the mayor for his brave decision. Finally, we started seeing people of color representing us. Congrats to Chief David Callahan, to Mr. Aklog Lemene, Danielle Osterman, and Arthur Felton. My best advice to all the appointees is please look for the best for all the residents in the city of Revere, not Ward 6 or Ward 3. Please pay attention, do not pay attention to that word map. You are here to serve all the residents. Finally, I would like to apologize for any appropriate language that was written on the ground or on the walls last Friday. That does not represent any of the organizers of the rally. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashid.
It seemed really heartfelt.
Next, Madam Clerk.
Next is Lee Simmons.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. So I'm speaking as someone who's actually new to Revere. I moved here exactly a year ago, but I'd lived in Boston for 15 years. And I moved to Revere when I heard about work that people like Dimple are doing and what a vibrant and ever-changing community Revere was, and I knew it was right. And nothing has changed since I've been here. I love it and love it more every week. When I heard about the HRC being reinstated, I thought that really fit with all of the work that's needed given the upheavals in our country. And I thought this is really seems right for a city like Revere. And I just want to mention that I don't know Dimple well yet, but her work with the young people of the city has impressed me so much. I'm a primary care doctor at Mass General, and through connections from Dimple, I've been introduced now to 2 young women in the city who are pre-med, planning to become doctors from our immigrant communities here in the city. She really has a way of finding out what these young people need and getting them in the right connections and really making a vibrant, healthy city. So I'm all for it, and I really appreciate you giving us the time to share our opinions.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next is first initial T, last name Sparling.
Yes, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Timothy Sparling. I'm a resident of Revere for about 8 years now. I definitely wanted to come in and also vocalize my support for Ms. Rana. She's just been tremendous in everything I've seen her do, from the youth to all of the assistance she's provided to the residents during this terrible 100-year pandemic. She's just done a phenomenal job, both in her work for the city as well as in her personal life. I kind of wonder if she ever sleeps. She does a really phenomenal job. I can't help but to have noticed everything this evening. I've attended council meetings before. I've not said anything during those meetings. While the other persons that were nominated this evening for positions, all of them, in addition to their nominations, each of them received extremely high accolades, and I'm sure that they all deserved it. I wish that the same has happened for Ms. Rana, and unfortunately it is not. I've seen quite the opposite this evening and I must say, as well as in previous council meetings, it seems, toward Ms. Rana. And as a newer resident of the city, I can't help but scratch my head and say, what is going on here? I can't figure out what it is about Ms. Rana that it feels like every interaction that I've had seeing the board and how they've not only not recognized Ms. Rana, but on top of that, the way that a counselor has been treated tonight and being silenced. And when there was another resident that earlier brought it to the attention of the board that mysteriously one appointment, which was for Ms. Rana, was skipped over, no mention was made of it. I personally feel that she was kind of rudely dismissed as well. And so it does leave me just saying, what is up? I don't know what's going on, why Ms. Rana is being treated this way. And I feel very unfairly.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, sir, because number one, she wasn't skipped over intentionally. She was skipped over because I knew this would be a lengthy hearing. I knew the others were in place. The positions were already on board for several years. So this is a new position, sir. This isn't something that and it was mentioned by Lara that I should have read the paper. No, I became a city councilor and worked hard to become a city councilor because I want the information before it hits the newspaper. So that in itself, I don't go sifting through the newspapers to see what's going on in the city. I try to know what's going on in the city, and I want the news before it happens. So I take exception to that we don't know what's going on. We do know, but we also know that we should be notified when a position like this is being mentioned. And if it came up from a vote and a motion several years ago, it doesn't mean that it's coming back on board right now. So I don't understand what that onslaught was all about, but I will address that, but I will do it in the proper manner. I won't do it over Zoom.
Mr. Chairman?
I ask you that I appreciate your appearance here and we thank you for your efforts. We understand what's going on here. We just want to make certain that there are questions. If the council has questions, they have questions. It's as simple as that. It doesn't mean that Ms. Temporana is not going to get the job. It's just that and the mayor said, give us all the questions you have, write them down, come meet with, and we'll answer them. So what's wrong with that?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'm a little confused even more. I don't remember mention anything about newspapers.
Oh, no. I'm talking about a previous speaker. I said Lara, that person Lara.
Oh, okay. I thought you were addressing me.
And no. And you said that you didn't understand why you weren't listening yourself because you didn't understand why we went over. And I told her that. So
no, my point was, my point was that when the resident brought it to your attention, I felt like she was rudely dismissed, like I feel the council was.
To get to that, yeah, I said we're going to get to that. So what else do you want me to say?
All right, I was just letting you know how the optics were appearing.
I appreciate your concerns. Okay. Madam Clerk?
Next resident is Ina Tull.
Ina?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Ina Tull. I live at 100 Florence Avenue. I've been a resident of Revere for 15 years. And I have, a background in public service. I mean, I worked for the state many years ago, so about, 20 years now. But I kind of left that and was not involved until I moved to Revere 15 years ago. Maybe not so much then, but the last 5 years, really, Dimple Reyna, I feel like, has moved the city and really brought the community together. And I'm talking about, the diversity here in Revere. We didn't have any representation. She came and she engaged us. We felt like we were heard. We felt like we belonged. We felt that there's hope in the city, that maybe somebody who looks like me, maybe somebody of color can be sitting at the table and look for my interest, which I had never seen before. So it is very important that for something that the Human Rights Commission, that you think about somebody like Dimple, not only that she is fair in what she does, she is honest, she's hardworking. I can't believe that her salary is being cut with everything that she does. She is, organizing every morning, taking care of people in need here in Revere. During the COVID-19, she's the one who put everything together with the mayor to make sure that people are being served. I mean, what can this lady do to prove you that she is committed for the city, that she loves the city, and that she's doing the right thing for us and by us? Please consider her appointment, approve it. You will not be disappointed. She is the right candidate. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ina. Thank you. And Clerk?
Next resident is Fatou Drame.
Fatou?
Hi, good evening. My name is Fatou Drame and I live at 30 Park Avenue in Revere. And I'm here today to speak in support of Dimple Rana's appointment. I've known Dimple for so long. I've worked with her in many capacities. She volunteered with programs that I do, and she basically is someone that I really admire, because when I think about it, I don't even know how she does it. Dimple is someone who has been beating like every day, and she will get up in the following day and she'll just keep on going. She helps people, not in like groups, but individuals. Anyone who comes to Dimple with their problems, Dimple help them out. She is someone who is there for the city, for everyone. During this COVID-19, Dimple has done excellent job of bringing everyone together, making sure that everyone is contributing towards helping our residents. She's someone who is a leadership that we really need to admire her. She has so much to give, and she's giving so much. So for this appointment, I think that Dimple need to be in that position because she deserves it. This commission is really needed right now. We really need it in the city. If we are saying that Rivier's diversity is our asset, then we need to value that asset. And that asset means that we need to put people in the right place. And I think that Dimple is the right person to be in this place. And she's not going to be the only one there working. Like he said, the chief of police is going to be with her. Other people are going to be there with her. It's not going to be like she's the only one going to be driving this. She'll be working with everyone in the city to make sure that everyone's rights is protected. So I will really recommend, and I will appeal to all the councillors to please consider Dimple for this position. She deserves it, and she should be in that position. She doesn't deserve all the things that she's going through. She is blamed for things that she's not even responsible for, and she's taking it and just keep on going. So I really, really hope that you all will consider appointing her for this position. She really needs it. She deserves it. She deserves this position. We need her to be.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Oh, the next panelist, just to announce, is Devin Smith Clark, but this person is using, it says, an older version of Zoom. Okay, let's see. I have to promote this person to a panelist to allow them to speak. This person does not have volume. I'll go to the next person. Olga Takur. This person also has a older version of Zoom. There we go.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, hi, thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm a little nervous because the tension that was going on previous among yourselves, but I'm really here to speak up in favor and as a proponent of this appointment for Dimple Rana. My address is 83 Glendale Street. I've been living here for 18 years, and thanks to people like Dimple, that she's well connected to the community. She knows the needs of the community, she knows the assets of the community, and I think she's been through a lot. Honestly, I have seen Dimple working so hard that the salary that she might have, it's not even half of the job that she does. And she's not supporting only a certain group of people. She's supporting everyone who comes to her. And she's always with this thirst of inclusion, diversity, and justice. And that's why I really admire the mayor that is appointing a person of color, because if you see every single corner almost of the city is not represented. Every single level of power that you see is not represented well the demographic of this city. This city is so diverse and it's great. And I've been living here. I love this city, and I love to see people like Dimple that it's advocating for changes, for a better future for everyone here in this city. She's been working so hard previous to the COVID. During the COVID, it's thanks to her that she puts every group to represent. She puts the Spanish network, who most of us volunteer the whole time to serve the people that probably the city can't reach easily. And I ask you, every one of you, to consider appointing her, because it's an asset to have Dimple Rana in one of these positions. I think the city, and together with you, can work, can do better in appointing people that represents the rest of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next is Danielle Osterman.
Hi, thank you. This is Danielle Osterman, 96 Bay Road. As a constituent tonight, I'm slightly embarrassed. This appointment was on the agenda just like all of the other ones. You had ample time to prepare for them, and yet you failed to do so for Dimple's appointment. As a social worker in this community, I would like for someone to answer me why there is so much hesitation around this appointment and the creation of the Human Rights Commission. Dimple was one of the first people to welcome me in this city when I moved here several years ago. She has worked tirelessly for the city and moved mountains for its residents. I cannot say enough positive things about her, and it would be a huge loss to the city if she doesn't get this appointment and this commission is not created. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Next up is just a resident listed as Nico.
Nico?
Yes, hi, Counselor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, how you doing? Nico Kostopoulos, 111 Mill Street. And again, I will be addressing the council with respect, as I always do. I have nothing but respect for the body. Tonight, I'm speaking against the position for Dimple. I don't feel that Dimple should be appointed for this position. Dimple talks about protecting the civil rights of all of us residents. When Dimple, in fact, violated my civil rights, she suppressed my First Amendment right to free speech. This went before the council. The council told her that she had to honor my First Amendment right of free speech. She defied the council on that order and targeted me and shut down a business I had at the farmer's market. She took money out of my pocket and my family's food off my family's table because she didn't align with my political beliefs. Her bias towards me, because she supported another candidate, cost me money. She attacked my livelihood. Of course, do I believe we need the HRC instituted and reactivated? I don't feel it ever should have been deactivated. Revere's been a diverse community for many, many years. Okay, and I'm highly nervous and upset. The tension at this meeting was unbelievable, and I'm afraid I'm going to get cut off at any minute. So I'm trying to get everything I want to say out. Okay, because of that T-shirt, when you guys told her to leave me alone and protected my civil rights, and you told her, Chairman Guanasso, okay, that I had every right to wear that shirt. The very same day that she told me I couldn't wear it, she allowed protesters to post a picture on the Farmers Market Facebook page talking bad about the Speaker of the House, Bob DeLeo. So I can't wear a political shirt, but she can allow her political beliefs to be posted on that Farmers Market Facebook page. Now, she colludes with the License Commissioner, Bob Sulovich, to target me and shut me down because of my shirt. She sent Mr. Sulovich over to my stand to tell me that he knew I was breaking the law. I have all this videotaped because Dimple sent him over there. In the long run, we were shut down because I wore a Rizzo shirt. And now we're going to look to appoint this individual to help the whole community. I don't feel that she wants to be inclusive with the entire community. I don't doubt Ms. Rana has helped members of this community. I'm sure she has. But unfortunately, she doesn't want to include everybody into that clique. I've been a resident here for many years as well, my entire life. My parents, my grandparents. Why can't I get the help from Dimple Rana? Why can't I have my civil rights protected from Dimple Rana? Why did she target me? Because I'm not of color? I don't understand what the problem was. I wear a political shirt. If she's allowed to be put in this position, I feel she's going to further use her position of power to discriminate against any idea that's not aligned with hers. Okay, nothing's been done by the city. There's been no action or remedies taken against her. No one's contacted me. The mayor jumps on here and wants to defend her right away because you guys didn't want to appoint it and you want to put thought into it, which is the smart decision. But he wasn't trying to correct her actions. She runs the farmers market. She talks about employing the youth. I encourage you guys to go down there and watch what they do. They sit at a table. She's nowhere to be found. She makes a presence once in a great while. She leaves an 18-year-old to run that farmers market. When there's a problem that arises, no one knows how to resolve that problem because there's no leadership. Okay, now we're going to appoint her. I see Ms. Ron is shaking her head no. I would like some feedback from the council. And you guys know what happened. She allowed, she allowed this to happen, and no one's done anything about it. Would anyone like to ask me questions about this?
Nico, this is not a question and answer period. You made your statement, and we appreciate your concern.
All right, well, I hope.
And I have, I guess there's 10 other people who want to speak. I think that we could go on for 100 other speakers. I think at some point we have to cut this off, because
Okay,
I've never seen 10 people come up and speak on behalf
The committee.
Yeah.
of the candidate.
Yes, sir. I agree, sir.
Is there a motion from the committee to continue this to a further meeting? There's no motion from the subcommittee?
Motion to continue.
Motion to approve.
Continue. Yeah.
Motion.
Mr. Chairman.
Council.
Thank you. Sorry, car just went by. I agree with, a lot of the speakers this evening, and I agree with Ms. Holmes when she said that this commission is vital to this community. And we're in a time right now where we need to reinstate the commission, and I fully support that. And personally, I don't think it's been fair tonight to Dimple for this committee and the council to take action on this appointment based on the variety of comments that have been heard and said. So I think that we as a council heard the respect of having a formal meeting where the 10 or 15 other people that want to speak can speak. It sounds like she has a lot of support from the community, and I think we owe her to have that. Again, I spoke at the beginning of the meeting. We're already now an hour and a half late for the council business, so thank you, Mr. President Keefe, for allowing this. But I think, Dimple, we owe you the respect of having a formal meeting where this can actually be discussed and people aren't cut off. So, Mr. Chairman, I vote that we table it.
There's a motion on the floor to table. All in favor, opposed?
Aye.
This
Nice job.
motion is tabled until the next regular council.
AP Guerrero. What's that?
Okay, what happened?
Somebody on there?
Nothing happened.
Can you
Mr.
mute? Can you mute Nico?
He's already muted.
Good. Okay.
Let's move on.
Members of the subcommittee, that concludes our appointment subcommittee. Whenever the chair calls for the next meeting, we will have a meeting prior to that. And I thank you for attending. Thank you.